African Union Communications, Early Warning, and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals, intelligence, and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of December 31st, 2025, the armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct the special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces have improved their tactical position, inflicted a defeat on the formations of 3 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade, and a border detachment of the Ukrainian Border Service in the areas of the settlements of Iskriskovshchina, Miropolye, Novosich, and Pavlovka in the Sumy region. On the Kharkiv direction, a defeat was inflicted on the units of a heavy, mechanized, and 2 motorized infantry brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Staritsa, Volchansky Kutora, and Grafsko in the Kharkiv region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost up to 210 servicemen and 12 vehicles. Units of the West Group of Forces inflicted a defeat on the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized airborne assault brigades, a brigade of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and 2 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements of Kupiansk, Uzlovoy, Prokopovka, Palomarevka, Kovsharovka, Monochinovka, and Grushevka in the Kharkiv region. On the Kupiansk direction, during the day, units of the 6th Army repelled 3 attacks of formations of the 92nd Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the 15th National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Nechvolodovka and Blagodatovka with the aim of breaking into the city of Kupiansk. Up to 30 militants and 2 pickups were destroyed. In total, in the area of responsibility of the West Group of Forces, the enemy's losses amounted to up to 190 servicemen, an armored vehicle Kazakh, and 16 vehicles. 2 electronic warfare stations and 4 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the South Group of Forces have taken more advantageous positions and new positions. A defeat was inflicted on the formations of 4 mechanized airborne mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kramatorsk, Konstantinovka, Reznikovka, Ilinovka, and Krivaya Luka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost over 210 servicemen, 9 armored combat vehicles, 11 vehicles, and an artillery piece. 2 electronic warfare stations, 3 ammunition and supply depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces have improved their position on the forward edge. The enemy's manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized airborne assault, airborne infantry, assault brigades, 3 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Infantry Brigade, 4 National Guard brigades, and the Azov Special Forces Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Grishino, Novi Donbass, Dobropily, Toretskoye, Anovka, Mariivka, Artemivka in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Novopavlivka in the Dnipropetrovsk region were defeated. The enemy's losses amounted to up to 500 servicemen, an infantry fighting vehicle, 3 armored combat vehicles, 8 vehicles, a 155mm self-propelled artillery system Paladin produced by the USA, and an electronic warfare station. Units of the East Group of Forces continued their advance into the depth of the enemy's defenses. The enemy's manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades and 4 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Boykovo, Zaliznytsia, Ternovate in the Zaporizhia region, and Velikomikhailovka and Bratskoye in the Dnipropetrovsk region were defeated. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost up to 190 servicemen, an armored personnel carrier, 4 armored combat vehicles, and 8 vehicles. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces inflicted a defeat on the formations of 2 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Preobrazhenka, Veselyanka in the Zaporizhia region, and Sadov in the Kherson region. More than 50 Ukrainian servicemen, 5 vehicles, and 3 electronic warfare stations were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, unmanned aerial vehicles, and missile and artillery units of the armed forces of the Russian Federation inflicted a defeat on energy facilities used in the interests of the military-industrial complex of Ukraine, a fuel depot, and temporary dislocation points of Ukrainian armed formations, nationalists, and foreign mercenaries in 144 areas. Air defense units shot down 371 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the enemy has lost 669 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 106,194 unmanned aerial vehicles, 641 anti-aircraft missile systems, 26,815 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,034 MLRS combat vehicles, 32,275 field artillery guns and mortars, 50,464 support military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.